Hello there, this is Christy Lewis at the Lakeport branch of the Lake County Library, and today I am here with some brand new adult books for you of various different genres. And you can get any of these by ordering them down below or coming in and asking a librarian to look it up for you. I have all the titles down below, sometimes with author names, depends on the searchability, but you can copy and paste it directly into the library catalog that I have linked down below. So it's very easy to get these books if you would like to order them. All you need is your library card. So let's just jump into it. Let's start off with my personal pick of the haul, which is, no surprise here, a cookbook, Skillet Love. This is a book with 150 recipes for skillet lovers, people who love those cast iron skillets. So this was published in 2019 by Byrn, and the subtitle is From Steak to Cake, more than 150 recipes in one cast iron pan. So, it's more than 150. I have a feeling that a lot of these could probably be also made in a Dutch oven, which is nice because I actually have a Dutch oven. I do not have a cast iron skillet, but they are very similar. One is just deeper than the other. So Byrn is the New York Times best-selling author of The Cake Mix Doctor. And there are some really, really pretty pictures in here of the food that she makes. The best shrimp and grits. Yum! So it talks about how the skillet is one of the most cost-effective tools in the home baker's arsenal, and it is naturally nonstick with no harmful chemicals. Like sometimes nonstick items have chemicals in them to make them nonstick. Not the case with cast iron. I will tell you that cast iron is heavy. In my experience, it's a little bit heavy for me. However, if I can handle my giant Dutch oven, then, I could probably handle this too. And it also talks about how it is one of the most cost-effective tools in the home cook's arsenal because you can use it to make any meal. You can fry your eggs, you can roast a whole meal in it, you can warm up your dessert in it, you can do everything. So if that sounds like something that would be useful to you, come check this out. Find some inspiration. Home cooking, yeah! Next, we have Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Now, you may know Andy Weir as the author of The Martian. The Martian was made into a famous movie starring, was it Matt Damon? And this one sounds a little bit similar, actually, to The Martian. He also wrote Artemis, but I haven't read Artemis. I haven't read this one either. I do know, however, this is about a man that is alone in space, just like The Martian was. He actually wakes up from kind of like, it sounds like a cryo sleep, where you're just asleep for a light year while your ship travels. Anyway, he wakes up and he's alone. His two people that he was traveling with are dead, and he's facing some kind of threat that we don't know what the threat is. It doesn't tell us, but apparently it's a threat to the species of humanity. So, and he has to face it alone because he's alone. And he's got all kinds of quotes on the back, like from Brandon Sanderson and Blake Crouch, Tim Peake, Ernest Cline, George R. R. Martin. Apparently they all love it, so, check it out if you want. This is sci-fi, obviously. You could tell because there's an astronaut on the cover. This is available as well on ebook, and it was published in 2021 by Ballantine Books. Next, we have a country romance, Country Proud, by Linda Lael Miller, and she's actually nicknamed, fondly I'm sure, LLM. By her fans. I think this cover is really pretty. It really reminds me of like old school romance, but it looks kind of updated, There's these really pretty snow flows in there and the pinks and purples. So this is quoted a whole lot on the back by the Romantic Times, Publishers Weekly, Library Journal, etc. And there is an ebook available for this as well. Man, it just looks like a Hallmark movie all wrapped up in a book for you. So it'll last longer than a Hallmark movie. So if you get tired of your Hallmark movies only lasting an hour and a half or whatever, check this out. Country Proud is set in Montana, and it stars a sheriff, Eli Garrett, and a woman named Bryn Bailey, who actually, her first love was this very sheriff, and he betrayed her back in the day. And she has since learned never to date a police officer. It's just one of her rules. And then they have a smoldering kiss, and it changes everything. And so it's called A Second Chance Romance by Debbie Macomber, who is also a pretty famous romance author. You may have heard of her. It sounds like there might be a suspense element as well because there's some kind of case that Eli is handling. So check it out if it sounds fun. This was published in 2021 by Hometown Girl Makes Good Ink. I think that's a really fun publisher name. Okay, what's next? Robert B. Parker's Payback. This is actually authored by Mike Lupica. He was chosen to take over Robert B. Parker's series when he died in 2010. His estate chose Mike Lupica to continue the novels, which I think I've seen that work really well with like Brandon Sanderson. This is a Sunny Randall novel. In this novel, Sunny is trying to help a friend who has lost his business to a predatory loan. She is trying to uncover some skeletons in the closet of this corrupt hedge fund manager who allowed this to happen to her friend. And she realizes that there's actually a lot of criminal support for this predatory hedge fund manager. Scary. She also is trying to solve a case that involves a young college student who seems to be hiding something. And she just realizes that she's like poking the same hornet's nest from both sides, and everything's about to explode in her face. This cover's kind of creepy. It's like a little girl made out of the queen of something. I don't know which queen it is, but it's one of the queen's cards, and the girl is being hung. So that's pretty creepy. In case you're not quite sold yet on Mike Lupica, he actually is a really famous sports journalist and has also written 40 works of fiction and nonfiction, best-selling stuff. In addition to this, and that's probably why he was chosen, I'm guessing. So if you're a thriller fan and you haven't read this yet, you might want to give it a shot. This is also available on audiobook, and it was published in 2021 by G.P. Putnam's Sons, which is an imprint of The Random Penguin. And finally, we have something completely different from everything else, which those were all completely different too. We had a romance, a thriller, a sci-fi sort of thriller, a cookbook, and now we have a true crime book. This is Framed in Monte Carlo, and it's written by Ted Maher, and he says, "How I was wrongfully convicted for a billionaire's fiery death." So that billionaire is the 67-year-old millionaire banker Edmund Safra, and they were in Monaco. And Safra died in a terrible fire that happened on his Monte Carlo estate in Monaco back in 1999, and Maher was convicted in 2001 of the murder, and he's been in prison for a while. However, he has been released as being wrongfully convicted, and this is his story. He's going to tell you his side of the issue, how there were, it sounds like 2 attackers and he was stabbed, and how there was like missing bodyguards and the police and firefighters who stood by as the house burned. Publishers Weekly says that true crime fans, whether convinced or not, will be entertained. So if that sounds like fun to you, here you go. This is also available on ebook, and it was published in 2021 by Skyhorse Publishing. That is it. That is all we have today. I hope you really enjoyed this book haul of adult things. Let us know down below in the comments if you would like to see something specific from us. Let us know if you're going to order any of these books. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give us a like in the corner, and until next time, take care.